Today on Peliculas with the Bros, we review Us, directed by Jordan Peele, and we have some questions that need to be answered like...
Is Us overrated?
Is Jordan Peele more like Steven Spielberg or M. Night Shyamalan?
Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show where me and my brother Ivan discuss a movie. Every week we discuss a new movie. Usually we do movies that come out in theaters, but this week was kind of slow. And a movie's about to come out called Nope. So we're going to get ready with Nope by watching Us. Kind of doesn't make sense, but they're both directed by Jordan Peele. So today we're doing Us. But before we get into that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We are a podcast, and we're also a YouTube podcast. So if you like to watch us talk about movies, go to youtube.com, search up Peliculas with the Bros. We'll be there. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think about us. We would like to hear about it. Isn't that right? Oh, think about us. What you think about us, and also what you think about Us, the movie. And we're also a podcast, so you can listen to us on any podcast platform, wherever you get your podcast. Peliculas with the Bros, whether it's Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We should be there, and we'll be willing to talk to you via that manner. But Ivan, it's time.
Huh.
It's time to cue up your rap song of choice and make the orchestra play it slower so that you can use it in a horror movie.
I got 5 on me.
On me, on it.
I don't know, man. I'm
Ah,
just a
come
white
on.
boy.
The movie of the week is
Us.
directed and written by Jordan Peele. The movie's premise is as follows. As a young child, Adelaide begins to show signs of PTSD after a traumatic disorder at a fun house at a beach carnival leaves her kind of traumatized. Years later, as an adult, the PTSD resurfaces after her and her family, her husband Gabe and her 2 kids Zora and Jason go for a family beach trip at the same beach. What exactly is causing her PTSD, and why does it still haunt Addie to this day? With the cast of Lupita Nyong'o. Is it Nyong'o? Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o as Adelaide Addie Wilson and Red. Winston Duke Gabriel as Gabe Wilson and Abraham. Shahadi Wright Joseph as Zora Wilson and Umbre. Evan Alex as Jason Wilson and Pluto. Elizabeth Moss, our girl,
Peggy Olson
as Kitty Tyler, Dahlia, and Yahya Abdul Mateen, Russell Thomas, and Wayland. They have multiple credits in this movie, all of these actors, because they have doppelgangers. But first, before we even talk about that, the director of this movie, Ivan, is Jordan Peele. The movies that Jordan Peele has directed goes as follows. Get Out and Us. Enlist. But he was in a famous, popular sketch comedy show called...
Key and Peele.
That is correct. And he had a movie that he wrote before he wrote Get Out. And it was a comedy movie starring Key and Peele called...
Keanu.
Did you watch that movie?
No.
I'd recommend it. It's okay.
We got a quiz show.
But Us, he makes this movie called Us, but before that he makes a movie obviously called Get Out. He gets nominated, his first film.
Oh.
He gets nominated for Best Director.
Mm-hmm.
He gets nominated for Best Screenplay, nominated for Best Picture. Doesn't win any of them, but he gets nominated. It's a big deal.
Sure.
African American, first film, nominated. Kind of coming out of nowhere with this film that people think of him as a comedic talent, but he comes in and he makes this really great film called Get Out. So he makes Us after that, and now he's producing a lot. He's produced Black Klansman, Candyman, the show Twilight Zone, and he has a movie coming out on Netflix directed by Henry Selick, the guy that did Coraline. And it's going to be a stop motion animated movie that he wrote and he's starring in, called Wendell and Wild.
Cool.
But before we get into all those movies, what do you think about Jordan Peele, just from your perspective, Ivan?
He was at his best as a comedian.
Dang, you're straight up saying hot take.
Boom.
You're laying it all out there for everyone to hear, and boom, you go in with that.
But he was pretty up there as a comedian, so it's not like him lowering himself from being like at the top is like, okay, you're still at the top.
Right. You're saying it's like saying Michael Jordan's best aspect was his shooting ability, but
he has like a million other
yeah.
good aspects. Yeah.
What'd you think about Get Out?
It was good. Fresh, finally. Different.
Yeah. And I liked it a lot. I distinctly remember watching it in the theaters, and it was the first time in a long time where I felt the audience with me.
You were scared?
They were scared, but they were also reacting to just the funniness, the meta commentary within the movie, and just living vicariously through that character. Like, no, don't do that. Everyone was on their tip of their seats, you know?
Yeah.
But it's funny because thinking about that movie and coming into Us, the first time I watched it in theaters, I was super excited for Us. Because I like Get Out so much, and because I thought it was one of the best movies I've seen in a while.
Right.
And then when I went to watch Us, I watched it, I liked it, but I felt, I definitely felt like I needed to watch it again, but I knew I didn't like it as much as Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Do you remember watching Us the first time?
Oh boy, do I.
Why?
Because it was yesterday.
You really watched it yesterday?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, so when you saw Get Out, did you think this is a great movie?
Yeah.
But you didn't watch his follow-up.
Yeah. What's your point here? Trying to say something?
Why?
Because it doesn't feel fresh anymore. Like, it just felt like Get Out 2. And I would rather have Get Out 2 versus Us.
But what made you feel that way if you didn't even watch it?
The trailer, same energy.
That's very interesting. I don't know. The thing about Us leading up to it is that it was unlike Get Out. There was build up to it. There was anticipation. People wanted to see it, and he marketed it in a way where no one knew what it was about.
Okay.
To the very last, to the time it showed, that's when the plot started getting revealed, right?
Right.
And I think that's kind of key to his first two movies, if you think about it, that they have this underlying mystery to it, right? And going into Us, there was I don't know what the phrase was. Is it called smart horror?
Yeah.
Where directors
I think it's between smart horror and horror. I think smart horror is Midsommar, but it had,
Ari Aster.
Yeah, because this had like some jump scares too.
Yes.
Not so plain as
right.
but definitely more into horror tropes than smart horror.
And that's the thing too, because going into watching the movie Us the first time, I was lumping in Jordan Peele with Ari Aster, with Eggers, with Alex Garland, who made Ex Machina and recently Men, because I felt like they were in the same bucket. But as I take a step back and I'm going into his movie now with Us, and also the movie that we're going to watch, Nope, I felt like there was a different analogy or different directors that he's associated to. I started feeling like Spielberg vibes.
Okay.
And specifically Jaws,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Not later era Spielberg, but Jaws because
First of his kind.
kind of first of its kind, but more so the tone. Because Jaws was like a horror movie, but there was something different about Jaws where it just felt like there was some kind of mystery slash weird feeling around it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a mood.
Mm-hmm.
And when you watch Get Out, and especially when you watch Us, there isn't necessarily something smart about it, like in the smart horror aspect, but more so there's like this feeling of the other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's like this sense that not everything is totally right.
Right.
And I think that's what Jaws does. And I think also that's what Close Encounters of the Third Kind does in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Where it might be this like expensive blockbuster movie, but there's another underlying feeling of dread.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was doing some research because that's just the feeling I had. And I got this quote from Mr. Peele himself, and he says, I think what Spielberg did with Jaws is quintessential. It's totally terrifying, but it still feels like an escape.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the key words there is just like, it feels like an escape, that phrase.
Cathartic.
Yes, that too. Where the movie going experience should be something unique and different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Peele wants to bring into his movies.
Okay.
Not just the straight up horror, not necessarily like a smart horror, but just something different to make the viewer feel like this is special.
Right.
But after rethinking about it too, I was like, I think Spielberg is a great thing to shoot for, but is he more like M. Night Shyamalan? Because M. Night was this like, when he came in hot with
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, made a lot of money, blockbuster, not too much budget, and Academy Award nominated, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, little by little, he started to decline until he like fell off a cliff. Now, recently, he had a resurgence and he's becoming more well known again. But there is a path where Peele can drop off, you know,
Sure.
like anyone. Just because you make one hit movie doesn't mean you're gonna blast off and become Spielberg. But it is interesting because they both also M. Night Shyamalan and Peele have this thing where like there's a twist at the end, or there's like something at the end that gets revealed, and that can become a shtick, you know,
Right.
where you can get tired of it. Do you think that Peele has more of a chance of being like Spielberg or like M. Night Shyamalan?
I think like Spielberg because he has comedy background, and I feel like he has to be smart, pretty smart to do that. And M. Night has like nothing like that.
Yeah.
I think his was more like straight up good idea. He had like a really good idea and then a good team and good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Or Peele, I feel like he made most of it himself.
True.
Like made his like not like he made every single shot, made everything, but he's very aware of what he's doing
Yeah.
every step.
I see that too. But this movie made me doubt it. And it's so weird. But we'll get into that. I can honestly, like, if you told me in 10 years, like, where would Peele be? I obviously don't think he'll be on the Spielberg level because he's like just like a once in a lifetime type of guy, especially like the type of success he had. But if I were to guess, like, is he gonna be creatively as closer to Spielberg or to M Night? I would say the same thing, Spielberg. I have a little bit more trust in Peele than I do in M Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know, man. Someone can just like fall off the cliff and not make a good movie, and that's what I'm kind of scared about the movie Nope.
I think it'll be good. Like as good as this, at least.
Interesting. I don't know. I'm scared. That's all I can say. Here at Peliculas with the Bros, we like to look at how the sausage was made. So Ivan, turn on that piggy grinder.
It's, what type of machine do I have this week?
I think you have like an Amish sausage maker.
It's like cast iron.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna throw that piggy in there. Turn on that machine.
Sir, it's manual.
Grind it. There is actually not too much info about this movie out there.
Well, that was a waste of
I just wanted to see you do that.
swine.
But, like I said, I think we can just talk about how we felt going into this movie. Obviously, you didn't watch it at all, so you weren't even intrigued to watch it.
Nah.
But I was amped to watch it. And when I watched it, I was like, yes, this is what I wanted when I wanted. And when I came out, I was like, dang, that movie was good. But I couldn't articulate why it was good.
Mm.
So after watching it, Ivan, for the first time, what did you think about Us?
It was good.
I didn't like it.
You didn't?
No.
Well, you're wrong.
It was weird, though. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
I think objectively it's good, but it's still not my taste.
Uh-huh.
Because it did like everything right in terms of like filmmaking, like setting up stuff, but it's also stuff I've seen before. I think the fresh take of this is that it goes into like white and black upbringings, cultures, and stuff like that.
A little bit, yeah.
With like metaphors,
Uh-huh.
but that same freshness was in Get Out too.
Yeah.
So it's like technically not fresh. It's like, ooh, you got a fresh ripe apple. You've never had an apple before. Tomorrow, like, oh, another fresh ripe apple. Well, I've already had it. It'll still be good, but I'll eat it too. It'll be good, but it's still, I've already had it.
Yeah. I could see that. Thinking about that movie when I watched it the first time and now watching it, I'm like, I wonder why now I see it so differently. And one of the things that jumped out is like the premise in itself is pretty good. Like the idea of doppelgangers
Okay.
and the government creating them to control the population and it not working out and then coming back to haunt us is inherently creepy, and it's a good idea.
Okay.
I will say that. But I felt like he didn't. I just feel like the idea is great, but given that this isn't like a magical, like there's no magic in this movie, there's no like supernatural stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the doppelgangers are what they are and they operate how they do, it doesn't seem plausible to me.
Right.
And that threw me off. Like,
how are they eating?
How are they eating? Who's feeding them? Like, I have logistical questions, guys.
Right.
And I know that's a dumb thing to bring into a movie, but I don't know. It was something that I was just like, how's this even possible?
Because I know that like, I don't know, 50 years ago, logistics weren't really an issue in movies. Like people would just see James Bond like on his car going on a tidal wave and then just surfing it with his car.
Yes.
I want to be like, Did they put any gaskets on that
Right.
to make sure the water wouldn't seep
How is that?
into?
How exactly is it floating? Right.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just our time or just because movies have been made so long, they just need to change like naturally.
Yes.
And now it's like, oh, that transformer, I saw its left shoulder clip into its hand. That was kind of bad.
Yeah.
And like that's what we're reduced to, like just criticizing like the tiniest things, because like just technically it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like it has the plot, it has like good shots, like has its scary moments as a horror movie. Like in a vacuum, I can't really say much against it.
Okay, so I have some more things against it too, other than just like the plausibility of the doppelgangers. One of the big things for me was the writing, just like how the dialogue between the characters. It kind of, to your point, it kind of feels like
TV show.
it just feels very basic and clunky.
But I also think like if he's going for the horror, that's what horror has always been. Not that he should just stick to that script of like, oh, horror's always been this, so gotta always do this. Like obviously you can branch out and get like Aaron Sorkin to write your horror movie. I don't know how good that would be.
Yeah, probably not that good.
But that's like my excuse of like the writing, because I felt it too. I was like, don't say Fortnite, because it felt like they're gonna say Fortnite at any moment.
Right.
They didn't, but that was why I didn't care too much,
Yeah.
because it's like part of the trope of the genre.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, that it is horror and it's typically lower grade, but I think one of the things that throws me off and makes me say rebut my own take on that is like Get Out was great because of the writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not that he can't do it.
Right.
And I think it's more so that with Get Out, the idea of the movie and him writing it, it almost wrote itself, because like the meta commentary, how it relates to Black Americans living in US, also like black man dating a white girl, like everything almost wrote itself. For this one, he had to explore a little bit more and like explain how things connect,
Yeah.
and they don't really connect. And also the just like the basic dialogue between characters is it just leaves me wanting more, I guess. And the acting of like the little kids, like especially the little boy, it wasn't like, shout out to the
Yeah.
little boy, but it was just very not too
I feel
well
like
done.
I would never use kids as actors if I was a director, unless it's like such a simple scene. Because even in Thor, like the final scene with that little girl and she's like watching her dad die, she just looks at Thor with a smile or something.
Yeah.
Like I know she's a kid, but I'm sure it's hard to find a kid that can actually act.
I agree with that. Yep.
But just in the future, I'll be like, you know what? Let me just take this kid out of the script, because no kid's gonna act as good as I want them to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about, there's like what's the movie, Doctor Sleep?
Yes.
There's a little boy that gets murdered by the villains in that movie, and he like sells it so good. It's like this little white kid, he's like 10 years old, and he's like, ah! He's terrified, and it's really good. But you're right, you can't find those in every 7-Eleven, you know.
There's a little Star Wars story about in episode 2 or 3, when the you know how the clone is made from
Yes, Boba.
Yeah, but he has like his own little son that's like normal.
Yes.
They said when they're doing the scene where the son meets Obi-Wan for the first time. Do you know the story?
No.
He couldn't get the right face to, because he's supposed to act like suspicious of Obi-Wan, but like the kid just could not act.
Yeah.
So then Obi-Wan's like, pretend I like just farted, and like you can't say anything. You're looking at me like I just farted. And then instantly he got it, like
Yeah.
just with that take.
So it's and that goes to this point. it's on the director to get the
Put it in like the kid's mindset. Like,
yeah.
imagine someone farted in your face. That's what it's like to get murdered.
Yep. Are you and like you need to act terrified. How do you act terrified?
Yeah.
Imagine your sister just broke your Xbox.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Um, all those negatives aside, like I said, I think the premise is good. I do think the movie's like creepy
Yeah.
and well designed. Like the tethered, they're cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was so disappointed.
Come on, Adrian.
I think it's like what I'm thinking about specifically. It's like there's this one scene, right? This is the clunky part that I'm talking about, where they're all driving in the car, and the "I got 5 on it" starts to play,
Yeah.
and the mom looks back at her son, and she's like, "Come on rhythm." And like that to me is it's just corny. It's basic. It to me it doesn't add anything. It threw me out of the movie. And it is that's like a minor nitpick. And then it's like the dad's character, where he's just like the goofy dad.
Yeah.
Who can't take anything seriously.
Yeah.
When Lupita's like acting her ass off and saying that she's terrified, he's acting like, yeah, you're seeing things. You're probably crazy.
Also, if that happened, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, you really think you saw a clone of yourself?
No, that's the reason I'm mad at him as his portrayal. Because like, if my wife did that, I would be so freaked out.
But you freak out easily.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be like,
no, but like
you're
imagine
stupid.
Imagine. Okay. Better example. Imagine someone you know that wouldn't do that, doing that.
I wouldn't know that person.
That's what you think, but imagine someone who you thought you know all of a sudden saying that she sees things.
I would just be like, well, you've been crazy this whole time, and I didn't know.
No, you wouldn't.
That's an interesting addition to your information.
Oh, my God.
I don't know how I'd act, but I don't think it's too far-fetched for him to be like that. But also, when I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, that's a little corny. I'm just like middle of the road. Like,
right.
Not going to knock it too hard.
Okay, another nitpick.
I'm ready for the next one.
When the tethered finally meet their family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all sitting around them. And she's like going down through the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the daughter's turn, and they're talking to the daughter, and she's like, "Run!"
Right.
Just like this idea of like a character that is known to be like a runner, and now like it's your time. Show them what you can do. Run.
I didn't even see that.
Like this idea that like you're boiling them down to like a boilerplate character that like they're good for one thing.
Right.
It's just so like predictable, and like, do we have to do that? Can we not do something a little bit smarter?
High jump.
Yeah, like if she was a gymnast, she's like, yeah, do your tricks.
Cartwheel.
Yeah. The same thing with the little boy when she's like, show him one of your tricks. You know?
Yeah.
And it made me think of those characters like superheroes, like Fantastic Four, like a family of 4. They all have like their own trick, like the Incredibles or something. Like they're all supernatural in their own way, which is a cool idea, but you don't have to lay it on so thick as Peele does. What do you think about movies that give you the entire mystery, entire like aha through dialogue? Because that's what this movie does at the very end. When Lupita's tethered character goes on this rant saying, explaining everything that happened and why there's tethered, how everything operates. How do you feel about that kind of storytelling?
I feel like I want to interview.
Because
That's
for
a great.
me,
That's a great question. That's a great question.
for me, I don't like that.
Listen.
Okay.
Are you listening?
It's funny how like you didn't want to watch this with me, and I told you I was like, this movie's a good movie, Ivan. How the tide turns.
Listen.
Yeah, I'm listening, bro.
I only have the capability to keep like one track in my head. I still think he's an amateur, Jordan. Not in like a you amateur, but like literally, he's new. Second movie. So, I mean, excuses or whatever, but I think he just doesn't have the confidence yet to trust his audience to figure it out. But there's like that flip side of like white people not understanding how alive racism is. Like a big chunk of white people not seeing racism is still pretty bad.
Okay.
They think like it's cured.
Yeah.
So maybe he has to lay it on thick because he's like, these dumb white people will not understand otherwise.
Okay, maybe now I'm that dumb white person, but how is this movie talking about race?
I mean, I had to Google it because, I mean, that like this, I'll go back to it, but this is like a half nitpick. I felt like he used too many metaphors and like symbolism and all that, which if he likes that, that's his thing. But like the movie, I was like trying to like quantify like what he was trying to say with like this. Like I didn't really get, like even with Google, I didn't get what the hand holding thing was. Like I knew that was a thing in the past, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But I think it was the main
Hands Across America, by the way.
Yeah, the main theme was that like no matter who you are, it just depends where you were born or who you were born with. That's what dictates how your life is going to be, not like what you are.
Right. I think what you're discussing isn't so much race, though. It's more class, right?
But I mean, I think in America, a lot of it is race and class. Like they're the same thing.
They're tied because of how
America was brought up.
Yeah.
Like in a vacuum, they're obviously not the same thing. But in America, they are the same thing now.
Yes, that is true.
Like in India, there's a caste system, but I mean, they're all Indians.
Yeah.
Is that racist?
I mean, okay, that's a good point about it's actually like probably the reason why he has this he has Lupita say the entire plot at the end of the movie, right? Because of him being scared that the viewer doesn't understand it. But yes, you're right, and that is kind of amateurish. And the movies that I like, and I think a movie that kind of like he is trying to be like with this movie Us is The Shining, where there's so much symbolism. Everything means something else, right? But that movie doesn't tell you anything. And that's what makes things, any kind of art, more appealing if you don't say the thing.
Yeah.
The Weeknd was amazing. Like, he was cool when you didn't even know what he sounded like in interview format, right?
Right.
Like when you had no idea if this guy was really a demon from hell or if he was just playing the role of a demon from hell.
Right.
But once you let the cat out of the bag, it's like, oh, okay. Makes sense, but it's not interesting anymore.
I think just symbolism and metaphors annoy people generally if it's like in their face. Like if there's a metaphor and then right after they explain it, because then they feel dumb. Like, oh, I didn't see that metaphor, so I must be dumb. But if like a Kubrick who just has the movie and it's like if you just watch it, it just the plot starting, rising, end, like any stupid person could be like, oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Because it's still a horror movie.
You can take it face value.
Yeah.
Or you can go scholarly and start dissecting everything.
Yeah. I think literally like the best stuff in any genre, any medium art that applies Like Elvis. I don't know.
Can't go wrong with that.
Can't
baby.
go wrong with Elvis. Like, I'm sure you could analyze his vocal patterns and see like this dude had like insane vocal range, like better than literally anyone alive.
Uh-huh.
And how he said it was the most amazing way ever. You could analyze it a million ways, but like some dude from Kansas is like, I just really love Hound Dog. That's like my favorite song ever.
Yeah.
And like both are valid, but when it's around when they start doing like the metaphor and then explaining it, like, oh, I don't like heady stuff. I just want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I missed it. I must be dumb. And
And
then both sides come out hating that.
That's an extremely difficult thing to do too, you know?
What?
To do a Kubrick, basically.
I could.
Oh, okay. Well, Peele can't. At least he didn't in this movie for me.
Yeah.
Props. One of my things is like I have a bunch of like reasons I don't like this movie after watching it again. But my takeaway still is like I'm glad we have people like Peele making movies like this.
Right.
Because I'd rather have this than like your typical slasher horror film.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's extremely difficult to do this kind of movie and to nail it. And props to him for even trying. I just think he doesn't land it. Like all the metaphors, all the explanation he has to do at the very end. That even threw me off more. Like how do the doppelgangers, how do the tethered have the right outfits, the same outfits that the humans are wearing?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like it doesn't add up, and by explaining it, it doesn't add up even more. So now I have a real reason to critique it.
Right.
Just don't give me the juice. This movie is called Us. There's a line where Lupita asks her tethered character, "What are you?" And she says, "We are Americans." Us is U.S. Americans, U.S. class. You know, like there's a bunch of things that he's like throwing in there, and to me, it's
Yeah.
like
Too much.
it's too much.
It's overindulgence is what it is.
That's a good.
Overindulgence.
I haven't said it the best. I want to overindulge in a carne asada burrito right now for some reason.
You said it.
Where are we gonna get a carne asada burrito from, though? Where would you go right now?
Rigoberto's.
Oh, I would go to Yesenia's.
Yesenia's?
Yes.
Yesenia's?
I would, if you make a taco shop. We've already talked about this, but what would be the name?
Ivan's. Don Ivan's.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Don Ivan's Taquitos. Don Ivan's Taquitos.
It wouldn't be something like Bricks.
Bricks. Come on. No. Because if I wanted it to taste good, it would have to be a little,
Classic.
yeah, and that's like Rigoberto's, Alberto's, Yesenia's.
Something with the O
Yeah.
or yeah. At the end.
Something where you could say it in Spanish. Like, you can't say bricks in Spanish.
Yeah. Beefsteak.
That could work.
What's the urban legend? Like they say, oh yeah, it's called beefsteak in Spanish because Mexicans were trying to say beef steak,
Beef steak.
but they couldn't say it, so they said beefsteak,
I see it.
and they just sticked.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
that's funny.
Like I love when my mom says, or our mom says, smoothies.
A smoothie.
I had a smoothie today. Like, Mom, it's smoothie. Get
Get it right.
Get the E out of the before S thing in your head, because it's infuriated me.
Smoothie.
Honestly, Lupita's acting is like what saves this movie for me.
Yeah, she can act a bit.
She can pretty act, you know.
She's an actor. That's something that somebody can say.
The voice and the whole voice that she makes up for her doppelganger is crazy. It's like half whisper, half croak, half she's gonna die immediately.
She sells fear pretty well.
Yes.
Like her face, I was like, dang, that's what I look like when I'm scared.
And I've tried it because I've been acting in the mirror.
Yeah.
The design of this film, like I said before, is good. The tethered, their look, their outfits, the music. It has like the 80s vibe in the beginning, which is cool. Revisiting Peele, though.
I think he probably got cocky, like with Get Out.
It
I think
was-
it's impossible to not to be cocky after that.
Yeah, I mean, you make a movie for $2 million, it makes $200 million, it gets nominated for Oscars.
You're gonna
Everyone's
think
like,
you're the best.
you're the
ever.
shit, man. Everyone's like, you're the shit, you're the shit, you're the shit, you're the shit.
Yeah,
And you're like, I have this idea though. Hear me out.
that's
The tethered.
a million metaphors in one movie. It's never been done.
Not like this. Not by a black man in America.
Nah.
Ain't nothing but a hell.
Come on,
Okay, sorry.
come on,
All right.
come on.
Sorry.
Nah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you would. Ivan.
Yeah.
This is the thing too. It's our fault. We gave Peele the right to make this movie.
How so?
Like you said, we propped him up and he made this movie it has a bunch of different ideas, but it just doesn't execute.
Right.
And when I watched Us, I was like, this movie is great. But it was actually just like lingering Get Out vibes
Yeah.
where I'm like, it has to be great. Because Get Out was one of the best movies I've seen in the past 10 years.
So I watched it the best.
He watched it.
I was right all along.
Yep. You were right.
And you were yelling at me the other week.
Yep.
You were yelling. You were hollering. You were screaming. You were yelling. I couldn't think of another.
I was jumping over people to tell you, Ivan, this movie's good. And you're like,
now
but I was right. You said this movie's good.
it's technically good.
Ooh, that's like worse than saying it's actually good.
Yeah. I mean, I think everything can easily be technically good these days.
I know.
Now it's just, oh, you got to put in your soul into what you make now. That's the next level of art.
I think the next level of art is like, but are you Elvis?
Yeah.
I think everyone should have that aim. Like, am I Elvis? Am I Kanye? If not, why would I try to do anything less?
Yes. If you're not like sweating profusely after the activity that you just partaked in, you ain't doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going home and eating a sandwich with banana, peanut butter, bacon, and honey, you ain't Elvis, baby. You take that, boom. I was gonna do Elvis impersonation, but I can't, right? What did he say? I wanna... Well, what did Tom Hanks ask him? Like, are you ready for this on the Ferris wheel?
Are you ready to fly?
And what did he say?
I'm ready to fly.
Really?
Something like that.
Okay, not that good, but...
Yeah. I'm ready to fly to the Rock of Eternity and get my mom a pink Cadillac or something like that.
I want to give my mom a pink Cadillac.
Cadillac.
That's a bad act. I can't do it.
Pink Cadillac. Pink Cadillac.
Cadillac. Cadillac. Ain't nothing but a... Ah! Back to your question at the top of this podcast. You said, is what overrated?
Is Us overrated?
Is Us overrated, Ivan? Oh, wow. He's leaving everyone on a cliffhanger. Will you answer that after watching Nope?
I think Us is... I think if you just see like, oh, Us, yeah, that was good. Like, that's how you should look at Us. It shouldn't be like, oh, that was a masterpiece. No, like, be realistic. But if you say that was trash, like, no. Be
Right,
realistic.
right, right,
Be
right.
realistic.
It's funny because like I was reading a bunch of reviews for us.
Uh-huh.
Because after watching it, I was like, am I just stupid? Am I just a stupid man?
Yeah.
And I realized I am a stupid man, but everyone was saying that this movie was like amazing. It was so deep. It has so many levels, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, God, they're wrong. They are so wrong. And then I found this one guy, and I love this guy. Because he wrote a book on the Coen brothers, and he also wrote a book on David Fincher.
Right.
So this proves that he's a genius. And he's like, basically he's saying Peele has all these ideas, but he's not wrapping it up with a nice bow at the end.
Too many metaphors.
And I'm like, my guy, I'm not the only one. And this was after watching it. He wrote this. It wasn't like a review a year later like I did. So props to him for recognizing. Ivan, it's time to rate this movie. Out of 5...
tethered people.
Out of 5 tethered people holding hands, how many tethered people holding hands is there?
I have to say, it's getting harder to rate movies with the vast knowledge that I have acquired.
It's getting way easier for me. Like,
I mean, I could literally rate it, but it's
no. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's
But
not,
like, it's going the opposite way for me. I'm becoming like you, I think.
we're switching.
Yeah, definitely. My bar is like,
Because there's like different categories that I see in my head of like, because if someone says this is their favorite movie and they're like, I just really love horror, I love how it's talking about like the black struggle, and that's their reasoning. Like, how am I gonna be like, well, you're stupid, you know? Because like I have movies where I'm Spider-Man 3, probably one of my favorite movies.
yeah.
But if I explain it, I could see people calling me stupid.
Yeah. What's my movie that does that?
Every movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What was it?
No.
Time to Die.
Ivan.
You're
Because
one.
I almost cried when my boy Daniel Craig almost died.
You're one blemish in our history.
One too many. Yeah.
I give it 3.5.
Out of 5.
Untetherd's. Tethereds. Rope peoples. Together peoples.
Holding hands.
Yes.
I give him a 3 out of 5 tethered people holding hands.
I think 3 is pretty much like bare minimum for a movie. But I think my 0.5 comes from the slight freshness that Jordan Peele brings to the world.
Yeah, no. Oops. I.
No.
Oh. I mean,
No.
I should give him that, but that's where I say I'm turning into you. Like, I'm done with the hand holding.
Optimistic,
Yeah.
sort of.
I'm done.
I see that, but like, I mean, I don't care enough to be like 3.
Damn.
But you know what I mean?
That's like, you're like putting me in a bucket of poop by saying that.
It's like the weirdest insult that's like not even an insult, you know?
It's like the most backhanded, weird, perverse way of insulting me. But I'll take that any day of the week.
I'm generous. How about that?
So I'm not.
Nope. You're an ungenerous soul.
See, that's where, like, I used to be that guy. I used to be like, No Time to Die, 5 out of 5. Hit all the marks that I wanted in a movie. I think the thing, too, is, like, when you watch movies at home, especially for me, it's, I don't work well in a home atmosphere for movies.
Yeah, probably.
My one big, like, fuck up in my life is watching Dune at home. Even though I love Dune, like, I watched it at home, and I'm like, why did I watch that at home? It's because we needed to do a podcast, and I needed to talk about it. Blah, 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 blah. Evan, it's time for a break, but I'm excited. I'm excited for Nope. Honestly, I'm excited. I like Peele. I just didn't like this movie too
It
much.
looks a little simpler, which is what I'm excited for. Like,
Yeah, That's
I thought
true.
I thought this was gonna before I watched Us. I thought Nope was gonna be a little too complicated, just from trailers and stuff. But after this, I feel like nothing can be more complicated than that.
Yeah. Or nothing can try as hard as Us.
Yeah,
Us is like a try hard movie.
yeah, like a little show offy.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
look what I can do. All right, guy. I get you can do
get off
360.
stage.
I get it, Mitch Hepburn.
Oh wow.
I'm embarrassed. We'll be right back.
No, that was good. That was
Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call.
things and such
I got some things for you.
and such.
Heat 2.
Well, no. Same cast.
Better.
Miles Teller, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya.
Timothy Chalamet has been requested by
Michael Mann.
Al Pacino to
No.
play it. He's like,
This kid can really act. This is an actor of a kid, I tell you.
I can't do anything better than that. Yes, exactly. That's what Al Pacino said. And wouldn't you want to see Chalamet as a younger Al Pacino?
I don't know. What's the movie? Is it?
I don't know. But
Heat
Michael,
2?
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Oh, I don't know. Michael Mann's like, Heat 2, it's happening. But I don't know if it's a prequel or anything.
I think Heat is probably like one of my favorite movies that I would not put on my top 5 list.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that like you can recommend to any person on earth.
I think its only failure is that it's like 2.5 hours long, but it's like it's worth it.
Oh yeah.
And by then you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
Heat.
I want to watch Heat just to hear the machine. Like
I just like the quotes from Heat. They're like all iconic.
yeah. Michael Mann, huh? We need more movies
Collateral.
like that.
Collateral.
Collateral. Yep, that was a movie. That was good.
I like Michael Mann's energy of, I don't know if he does this with all his movies, but Collateral and Heat had the same energy of just like frantic action, but like in an unrealistic world where people are kind of perfect. It's just like a fun getaway sort of thing.
Yes. Not too dissimilar from Top Gun.
Yes. Like it knows what it's doing. It's a little cheesy, but it's fun.
But it's also darker. It's like a
Yeah.
darker version of that.
Yeah. But it keeps the cool movie lines.
Yeah.
We don't have a. I love cool movie. It's
Yeah.
like the last time we had that is like Thanos, and that's because he was a villain, and they needed to make him iconic in every way. But they need like Tarantino. Like I don't know why everyone doesn't aim for having every line just be like iconic.
That's what I loved about
I'm
Tropic Thunder.
I'm has been. Once upon a time. Don't cry in front of the Mexicans.
Tropic Thunder when he's like doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonations.
Yeah.
And he's like whatever that movie trailer they were pretending, and then they do a close up. Who let the fridge open? So good. I laughed my ass off on that one.
We need to go back to those days. I think a lot of modern movies. I think everything all at once kind of is switching that a bit. But I think there's too much seriousness. Not a lot of having fun. Like Heat was just fun.
I think the issue too is like there's movies that are the movies that were. I don't know. I feel like Marvel's kind of to blame for all this.
Yeah, maybe they're like, oh, you want
they're-
a fun movie? Watch Marvel. Like
And
nobody
they're not
thinks.
doing it.
Yeah, nobody thinks high-end fun movies exist. There's an open gap right there. High-end fun movies. Last one was Everything Everywhere.
Oh, this is a great segue. How much money do you think? Well, now that I ask, you're probably gonna know. Who's the highest paid actor recently from a movie?
The guy from Jurassic Park, the old one.
Wrong. Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Guess how much money he's making off of Top Gun Maverick?
100.
Yep.
It's like it's all self-produced, huh?
That and he like owns everything on it.
Yeah.
He gets like there's like I forgot what it was called, but he gets money. He gets money before the studio gets money from like the sales. I'm like, this dude.
I think he's like paving the way to just like no more middleman in like that artist owner scenario, you know?
But the issue is that only a few people can do that. Like even I'm talking about on a talent basis, only a few people can do that. Like maybe Chalamet 10 years from now, maybe I think DiCaprio can do that, but
it's still new though, like that concept of the artist being in charge now. Like Tom Cruise is doing it, but how long has he been in it?
But also Tom Cruise loves movies.
Yeah.
Like he's going to make a great movie. What's his name? Chris Pratt is not going to make a good movie, and he's going to try to do the same thing, and he's going to
fail.
He might actually win, unfortunately, but he's not going to make $100 million.
And maybe it's just sticking it out a little longer than you would expect. Because I think there's that like hump of, oh, studios own everything I do. They own everything I do. They own everything I do. Like, oh, I guess I'll give up. But Tom Cruise is like, I won't give up. Let me just keep going. And now I own everything.
Passion.
I think everyone can do it.
No, not everyone has passion.
I think it could be harnessed. I just think everyone has like specific passion. Where like some bum on the street is like, what's my passion? Well, first you got to learn web design, then you got to learn graphic design. And like, oh, your passion was actually this tiny little subculture that you can never get to because you're homeless.
100 million, man.
Easy.
You know what's sad? Who's number 2? Guess. And
Chris
it's
Pratt.
sad. It's sad that he's number 2.
Chris Pratt.
Sadder. It's gonna make you like I'll give you a guess. New York.
Adam Sandler.
Give you another guess. Slap.
Will Smith.
35 million for iTunes movie coming out.
But he's also like still not over his predicament, I feel. Because this was all made before the slap. Like
Yes,
we
it
don't
is.
we're not in the post slap phase yet.
Movie wise, correct.
Yes.
But unfortunately, he's getting paid this during, like he's what I want for Willie, Big Willie style, is for him to not be touched by any studio for 5 years because they're afraid of him.
Oh yeah.
But they're giving him 35 million, so he still thinks he's the shit.
I think he'll fall eventually. Like, you can only slap so many people before like there's gonna be a next slap, like whatever that is.
Probably like to a TMZ guy.
Yeah, like I think the people who do these things are destined to keep doing it in different ways. So if he's not gonna get in trouble for this fully, like next year it's gonna be something else. Because he's been going through it for like 5 years.
Yeah, I think this was like the tipping point. Cause
Maybe could be another tipping point.
But you know, he's like tailor made for like the redemption story.
Yeah, but
Cause he's cheesy like that, you know. But we need to see him at his low. We need to see him asking for money off the 5 freeway over here.
I won't get to that.
Damn it.
I mean, I think anything can happen. I think it's possible he'll fall off, and then he's gonna like a worse than Nick Cage before this resurgence.
I just had a horrible but brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we live in a world where he starts falling off, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, he's like coming out with a rap album.
I'm done.
First explicit rap album.
Disgusting, like slurs,
Yeah.
like worst stuff ever.
Like and he's like there's no like lead up to it. He just drops it.
Like Drake.
You look at the credits, DJ Premier. What the DJ Premier? What the hell? Who's another like dirty, like grimy producer?
DMX.
Producer.
Doesn't he produce?
No.
Oh.
DMX passed away.
I mean, he could still have old tracks.
Q-Tip. He has like all the producers Nas had for Illmatic. Like and then the raps are just like his honest feelings. And like
I mean,
and
I
he's,
would appreciate that.
and he's talking about his wife, their issues, his kids, Scientology, how he almost went into Scientology, Tom Cruise diss track.
Could work.
Rap is the way. He brings back rap.
Big Willie style.
The savior we didn't know was right in front of us the whole time.
Oh my god.
The first Grammy nominated rap artist. He's coming back to save us. Big Willie style.
Crazier things have happened.
What's the name of the album? Not Big Willie. No,
Bigger
don't do it.
Willie style.
Don't do it. It's too easy.
I don't know. Culture.
Oh god.
Culture 5.
No. It's Untitled.
Unmastered.
Stop it.
Okay.
All right. Oppenheimer.
Saw the poster?
Yep.
Look fire.
This guy.
I hope. Should we wait?
No, go.
I hope it has a lot of nuclear explosions. I would hate for this to be like just like a Mad Men sort of back and forth. Especially with that poster.
Got me right there. I was gonna say something else, but what you got? Stop it. Stop. Yeah. I mean, Nolan, a master of sound, I would say. A master of knowing how to use sound. I would be.
Imagine a nuke sound. Just absolutely killing our eardrums. Like,
He would want. That's like what he wants to do. He wants to be. Low-key, he wants to be experimental. So he's going to kill us through.
he loves practical, so he might just have a nuke in all the movie theaters
Oh, my God. He's like, how much to get a nuke?
to go off after every showing in each city.
Jesus.
He's just a super villain at this point.
I'm excited. Honestly, Nolan is like top 3 directors. I'm whittling down all my directors.
I just want more of him, like, because I feel like there's parts where like I see a glimmer of like poop talent. I don't know if that's like just a little slip up,
Uh-huh.
and then I see moments where it's like this guy, he has it, but like I haven't felt like a like da-na sort of feeling with the movie since like I think Inception was the closest thing.
No, I think that was his worst movie.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yep.
No, it's not.
His best movie was his last movie. Tenet is his best movie. That movie's. He's honestly he's like Playboy Cardi.
No.
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe by my definition.
By my he's like the epitome of like a rock star.
Nah.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
Dunkirk was a masterpiece too, by the way.
I think he's like Kubrick in terms of like technicalness, but as far as like the meat, I don't think he has it yet.
I think his point is meat doesn't matter at all.
Then I don't like him,
And he doesn't like you.
my mortal enemy.
Ivan, there's a trailer for the weekend's new show called The Idol.
Sure, I'll watch it.
A24 produced, written with the help of the guy that made Euphoria. I'm really proud of The Weeknd.
Don't start.
I knew he had it in him. I was a Weeknd acolyte since the beginning. But it's cool to see a guy like this doing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if he can act though. See if your boy can act.
Did you see the trailer?
Yeah.
He looks so weird, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like that slick back hair. What are you doing, man? I like it.
Yeah.
He understands. He understands it. He's not trying to be Drake. He's not trying to be Young Thug. He's not trying to be cool. He's like, I need to look freaking weird. Love it.
So he can act.
Dune Part 2.
Okay.
They're filming it. It's happening.
What? Shut up.
It's happening sooner than we thought, too. I thought it was going to happen like 5 years from now. It's happening now.
Still could be 3 years from now.
True. I'm excited. You see that book over there?
Dune?
Over there on the third shelf.
Swamp Thing?
No. I got Dune Messiah. I'm going to read it.
I literally...
Okay, that's fine. And lastly, House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones prequel, August 31st-ish? August 18th? I don't know when. I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be good.
Kind of over fantasy.
I'm not.
There's a lot of fantasy stuff coming out.
There is Lord of the Rings is coming out.
Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Dungeons and Dragons announced recently at Comic-Con, which is happening this weekend here in our hometown, San Diego, California.
Don't!
Which we are not participating in because we are pro.
Peliculas at Comic-Con. Our own panel.
Hey everyone! Welcome to Peliculas Other. Mom. Woo! Everyone else? Crickets.
That's all I need.
We'll like Hall H, please.
Oh, baby. Just walk in, strutting.
We need like the in between like Game of Thrones cast leaving and like Marvel coming in. We just need that 5 minutes of like people in the audience. Just give us 5 minutes, Comic-Con. And we'll convert everyone to Peliculas friends.
Peliculites.
Yeah, Peliculites. Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call What's on the Telly? What you watching, bro?
What have I been watching? Nothing really. Nah.
I've been trying to watch shows, but I've gotten worse at watching TV while I eat dinner.
Yeah.
I just can't pay attention, and I don't really care what's on TV.
Okay.
But I did watch a movie at the theaters. A little movie called Where the Crawdads Sing. You know what? And it made me think so much because, like, I wasn't interested in the story. So, I was, like, all I was doing was, like, thinking, like, this is a good movie. What makes good movies? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what to say about this movie other than movies are... I don't even know what to say.
Was it good?
I don't know.
How can you not know?
Oh, I have one thing about the movie. And actually, it wasn't even about the movie. So we're sitting there, La Jolla recliner seats, you know, AMC, and then it's actually packed. Surprisingly,
All women.
women and older people, and movies starting barely. Like the what is it like the
Trailer?
production companies
Okay.
are showing. And in walks two elderly men, and one of them has like jazz playing from their phone at full volume, like.
I don't understand.
I was like, oh, interesting. Maybe they're gonna turn it off soon. They sit down, they don't turn it off, and I'm like, I'm there just like rubbing my hands together, like I can't wait to see what happens. Like, please keep playing it, because I'm
Try me.
no, not for me, because like I want to just see like the chaos that ensues.
Yeah.
Because I'm not interested in the movies. I don't care what happens. I'm just here to
Right.
see some drama. Lady says, "Excuse me, can you please turn off your music?" He doesn't turn off his music. And I'm like, I think this person can't even hear their own music because he was like an older guy.
Yeah.
A guy two seats to the right says, "Turn your thing off." And I crack up laughing. Just like that phrase, "turn your thing off." Just like the bluntness and the anger he had in his voice was impeccable.
And then
that same guy, he storms out. I'm like, I would never be that mad, but go, man. You storm out. He
Jeez.
storms out. I'm assuming he gets like someone that works there. That guy, one of the workers comes up, and when he comes up, the guy turns off his music. So uneventful, but I had to say it.
That's so weird.
But I just love the guy's phrase. Turn your thing off.
Was he like 80?
He must have been upper 70s, maybe 80.
That enrages me, Adrian.
What would you do?
I would be in your position, but I'd be angry.
Okay.
Just boiling.
Really?
Bursting at the seams.
I would be mad if it was the Batman.
I would just be like, I don't know. Look, I went to Costco. This was like a month ago. I went to Costco, and like it was a pretty packed day. So like the main halls of like where to go through, it was pretty like,
Yeah.
it was packed.
Yeah.
And then there's this like old guy like walking in front, like slow as old people do. And then there's a free sample thing. And in the middle, he's like,
Yep.
like right in the middle,
Yep.
just turns it to the side.
Yep. Seen this
Stops.
5 times.
He puts on a smile like he's excited. And then he goes to the samples like a dog. It was like the most like animal
Yeah.
action I've seen from like a human.
Yeah.
And then a guy next to me, he was like, I was like, yeah. I didn't say that, but
Yeah.
just, it was funny. I was mad, but it was just funny to see like the insanity that was just normally going on here.
Well, the issue is that it's not insanity. It's
It's
like
a little insanity.
it's more common than not.
And people are commonly insane.
Because like so this is me. I rebel against the free samples.
I don't get them either.
Because I see them as a sign of weakness. And today, in fact, I went to Costco. I'm trying to go straight, like completely straight, to go into the freezer area, right? And then here comes this lady with her cart, like cutting me off and stopping right there. And she's like looking at the free sample, like trying to see if she should get it or not. And I look at this lady's eyes.
Nothing.
And I recognize like she's trying to see if she should get the free sample. And then I see in her eyes that she's like, no, I don't want it. And I'm like, you're so weak. You are so weak. And then I grab a free sample and I eat it.
So good, so good.
Yeah. There's something about food that makes people just like dumb.
Stupid. I don't know. I would get them if they're like the little cubed cheeses that they used to have.
Fair.
I don't want like a bacon cracker. I don't want like a falafel slice.
It's sad because like my wife goes for the free samples and it enrages me. And she always offers me
You
some.
eat that some.
She gets some for me and she's like, have some. I'm like, no, I don't want any. But I only not want it out of principle. Because I secretly want to taste it. But I'm just like,
Jeez.
no, I don't want none of that.
I wouldn't go that far. Like I'm more like neutral. Like if it was cheese, I would want it. But everything they have as free samples there, like I've probably tried it,
Yeah.
or I could imagine what it tastes like.
Yeah.
But I always like a little slice, a little cube of cheese. Like I'll love that till I die.
So now I'm realizing that I'm as bad as the people that want the free samples.
You're like the flip side.
Yeah, I'm like the flip side now. Like I'm evil now.
Yeah,
So I need to correct that. And
eating samples.
Yeah. I'll start nibbling on things next time I go.
I avoid them just because I feel bad when like, would you like to try this? And like, what do I say? Like, I've already tried this before. I liked it, but I don't want any now. Like, that's just too realistic.
Just
to
give
say.
a whole review right there.
Yeah, but like, I don't want to say like, no thanks, because it's their job.
Costco really is like a battlefield.
It is like the people there. They're like probably the worst for seeing like. They're all in their zone. Like they don't see, like the guy coming this way. They don't like. Oh, he's probably gonna go past me. Let me just stop right in front of him.
Yeah.
Like they don't.
What is it about that spot though that makes people such deviants?
White people.
Makes sense. It's time for a section we like to call "Really Be Bussin'."
Nothing.
I've been listening to one album, Black Midi.
Okay.
Do you know?
I know who he is, but I don't listen to him.
Do you know who he is, or do you know who they are?
I know who he is.
No, it's because it's three guys.
I know who he is. I know of them.
It's interesting because it sounds have you ever had the issue where like things that are complex interest you because you want to understand it?
Like us.
Good point.
Re-rate?
10 out of 10.
There we go.
And everyone's saying that Black Midi's like this complicated cerebral band. And I'm like, sign me up, baby. So I started listening to them, and it's like there's something good about it, but I don't know what it is.
That's probably what everyone says.
And since it's rock, it's even more the case, that I can't even explain it because I'm not a rock guy.
I'm over complicated. Wait.
Yes, you are, baby.
I'm over complicated pieces of work.
Gotcha.
I'm over complicated.
Wait, you're over complicated pieces of work? You're an overcomplicated piece of work? Woo!
No.
Yes, you are, baby.
I am, and that is why I'm sick and tired of complicated pieces of work.
Oh, weird. That is so weird. What a mind bender.
I'm
So you're over Kendrick Lamar.
A bit. I'm respecting this. Get that microphone out of your nose.
Sorry. I want to shove it up my nose right now. If I could, I would.
Anyways.
Oh.
I respect the simplicity these days, and I think everything is way too complicated for their own good.
Hence why Ivan starts listening to
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, that's true. That's a better. I was gonna say like 6ix9ine or something.
Ew. Even him, it was too like the beats. Like,
Yeah.
Overly produced is a thing. Too much candy flavoring. I just
Good. He has a good design team.
6ix9ine.
Yeah. Like I love that little figure of his, like the 3D.
Yeah.
Figure. Great idea.
He's-
Bad guy though.
Right.
Great idea. Bad guy.
I think he was pretty smart for what he did, but he's also dumb in a lot of other instances, and it kind of canceled out. But I think he could have got out like Chameleonaire, like just some tech billionaire, whatever he's doing. But instead,
Chameleonary man. Sorry, that was super corny.
okay.
He used to do that. Hey, it wasn't me that made his ad lib. That was his ad lib.
All right, I believe you.
Embarrassing.
But 6ix9ine, yeah, he's an idiot. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But with smart ideas, like I see those interviews where he's like, "These rappers, they don't do what they're actually saying. They're lying." Like Drake, he never got RICO'd or whatever. That's just what he raps about.
But that's actually a good point.
It's true, but like, who cares?
Right. You're saying like, Yeah, everything you're saying is true, and you did honestly do the right thing, but don't bring everyone else down.
Yeah, it's like Mad Men when Bert and Pete and Don were talking because Pete outed Don as a deserter,
Hmm.
and then Bert's like, "Who cares?"
Oh yeah, dude, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, who cares? Like, does it really matter? Like, that's a different issue entirely. Like, we're just listening to music. Like, I don't think Drake. I think Drake has been pretty aware that he kind of is that corny character.
Yes.
I think the real fakes would be, I don't know. I think the real fakes are like Gunna, who they just have like the same exact sound as a Young Thug, and like that giant camp of the rappers. Like that's real fakeness. Like at least Drake is honest with his lies in a way.
Yeah. You know who I miss? And I missed him today.
X,
Travis Scott.
he's still here.
Because I was listening to pick up the phone and I'm like, can we just have like a song like this again?
Yeah,
Like, I want to have some fun.
that's the next wave, isn't it? Just fun. Nobody's having fun anymore. Me, I'm having oodles of fun. Loads of fun.
Oodles of noodles, all right?
Noodles and noodles of fun. Nobody has fun like me. The funnest guy around.
God damn it.
I'm convincing myself.
But yeah, Black Midi, honestly, it just sounds
Oh yeah,
it sounds good.
right.
Why? I don't know.
Who knows?
Supposedly like they're very technical, like they're very technically good,
Wow.
but you kind of hear it.
But nobody gets awards for being technically good.
That's true.
Wait, by technical I mean like they're
They understand like the clefs and all that, like notes and how things sit in an arrangement.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't care about that at all.
Okay.
Look, are you looking? Elvis, he had no training. Kanye,
Oh my
no
god.
training.
Here he goes.
Steve Jobs, he was homeless his whole life.
YMW Millie?
Sure. Travis Scott, home taught. Name your favorite artists. Probably taught at home.
Beethoven. Bach.
Those are your favorite
Mona
artists.
Lisa.
Mona Lisa?
Okay, you're right.
No more school. Abolish. Don't go to school, kids. It'll warp your mind.
The right way?
No.
Is there any music coming out? I feel like I do feel rap is dead. It's-
Beyonce.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be. I was never a Beyoncer, so
You're never in the beehive?
no, I was never in the hive. I was just a
Wasp?
wasp wanting to be a bee.
Floating around.
Yeah.
Getting
Sad.
shunned by all the bees.
Yeah, laughed at bee school.
You know, I went to a Beyonce concert before, right?
I wish you didn't tell me.
I went to the Qualcomm. It was at Qualcomm?
Okay.
Qualcomm. Stadium.
Jay-Z,
Jay-Z. Opener?
closer.
Because who was the opener?
Kanye,
Worse.
Travis.
Well, everyone's worse.
The Dream.
DJ Khaled, Ivan. I don't know how he manipulated that. I think DJ Khaled is along the lines of like Hitler and Putin, because like he knows how to get power and like convince.
But also, like, he's pretty harmless. Like, he got his power, but he's not gonna sway any heads. Like, he just did that because he wants money.
Yeah,
Like, okay, live in your stupid little fat world.
yeah. Thankfully, he only thought money was good.
Yeah, and food.
Oh god. Any parting words for the beautiful people out there, Ivan? Anything else?
Nope. Next week. Tune in, guys.
Next week we'll be discussing Nope, Jordan Peele's latest film starring Keke Palmer and What's this guy's name? I forgot his name.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know, but he's a great actor. Great actor.
He doesn't Get Out.
Look at those nostrils. You can look straight up in those nostrils right there. We'll be back next week to discuss Nope, and we'll be excited to watch that. When are you gonna watch that?
Like Tuesday.
Tuesdays are your movie days?
About.
I'm gonna try to watch it tomorrow. We'll see. We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Peace out.
Bye.